Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this live, I'm going to explain the real world project. So I'll explain you the first uh, project architecture. So in most of the companies they are following this architecture only. This is in a layered and entire architecture, and you can say that repository pattern and unit of work. So this pattern and the dependency injection, these are the design patterns we are used in our project. So most of the companies following this layered and entire architecture only. And for the web API, so and whatever MVC applications they are using, that MVC applications are using the clean architecture. So clean architecture is a little bit similar only. So I'll explain you what is a layered architecture. So layered and entire architecture. So in this architecture, we have the front end on front end and back end is separated. So here we'll see the backend layers. Backend, so front end is nothing but just it is an Angular application, and so that is in a presentation layer. And so coming to the backend, we have multiple layers. So like the API layer and a business logic layer and a data access layer. So what actually API layer will do, right? So I'll show in a Visual Studio. So coming to the Visual Studio, here you can able to see this is the API layer. This is an API layer. So you can see this is an web API application. So you can see application, web API application. So these are the class libraries I have created for these are the layers. So one is an application layer and data and domain layers are the data access layer only. So you can, so this is the layer. So you have created one libraries, right? So I have created library, and this library, this is a, these are the layer, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, like that. And I have the tests. So in most of the real world application now, it's modern applications, they're using the Azure. For that Azure also we can add, like I'm adding one layer. So one project, new project, as a new project I'm adding here. You can able to see. So coming to here, and Azure, every application they are using the Azure. So Azure functions. So this is one of the layers. So if you wanted to use Azure, then I'm creating this. As of now, I'm just creating. So this is an Azure layer, like. So now you can see this is the uh, one layer is created. So here whatever Azure related and things you can do. As of now, I'm not explaining about the Azure. So I'm just explaining in the basic CRUD application. So in this application you can see, so this layer is added. So I have the as previously said, right? So data access layer and application layer and API layer. So that I'll explain. I'm removing this Azure layer. So I'm deleting this. Yeah, I have deleted that layer. Like, so as you see here, so in a API layer we only have the controllers and filters, and you can see in a API layer controllers and details and middlewares are there. So in say here middleware is there, right? In a program.cs file you can see uh, in a previous version in a .NET 5 and .NET 5 we have in a startup.cs file. So now after the .NET 6 they unified as a single file. So here you can use the startup.cs file as well, but it is in your like the unified, right? So it's very easy. So in a startup.cs file we have the two two methods like a configuration services and configure method. So in a configuration services method, configure the services which are required by the application, like services or the registration of the services, and that is happened there. So and in a configure method is responsible for building the HTTP request pipeline as a sequence of the middlewares like that. So. mm, so whenever request comes into the request from the Angular application, whenever request is come to the backend application like this .NET Core API, so it hits the uh, first go to the controller layer. From the controller layer, it will go to the application layer, and from the application layer, it will go to the data access layer. And so this test we can do the unit testing and mock testing. For this unit testing we can do, this is an X unit testing. So most of the applications using the X unit testing and N unit tests like that. So and this is the application. So in a real world, in the same real project also, these only is there, nothing is changed. So in the real application also, this is the only is. So coming to running the application. So you can see in the application I have run, so it is opened the Swagger. So in a Swagger I am able to see the auth and employee. So auth controller and employee controller I have defined here. You can see in controllers I have the auth and employees and product and values controller. So these are the different controllers. See here I have this practice purpose I have added this product and value controller. So uh, ignore these two and focus on this like auth and employee. So here you can see auth controller. Auth controller is for the authentication purpose. So in a authentication purpose, we are using the auth controller. So and employee controller, in an employee controller. So basically, why I have just it is in a simple application. So in a mm, so I'll explain you. So it is in a CRUD application, right? So first controller, first controller in a controller, I am injecting the service like an employee service, I employee service. So I employee service very from where it is coming. So it is coming from the application layer. So application layer, what is there, and it is in a business logic. Business logic is there. So I'm coming to the I employee service. So this is an interface. So here we're using the dependency injection design pattern, right? So dependency injection in a .NET Core, dependency injection is a built-in function, built-in. So in a dependency injection is a built-in in a .NET Core. So it have the own it will object creation of the instance and object, and disposal of the creation of objects, and this all will be take care by the .NET Core itself only. So here we have the dependency container like that. So and so in application layer we have the interfaces and service. So interfaces and service, and data layer we have the data and mappings and repositories and like that. So in a domain layer we have the entities. So um, let me explain first this domain layer. In a domain layer, whatever you have the tables in, right? Whatever tables available in your database. So I'm switching to the database. Here you can see employee databases I have created. I have the EMP databases created. So in the EMP database, you're able to see tables are right, employee table and job title table and junction table and practice table and projects table and the user profile table. So these are the tables. So these are the tables. So whatever available columns, I'm selecting this first employee. So so on a most of the companies and most of the projects, database already existed database already existed. So for that we need to do the database first approach. So in an interviews they ask like which approach you have used. So already we have a database, so we use the database first approach for this. So how you will connect with the database in a .NET course. So for that, so I'm coming here, and in a API layer, we have the app settings.json file. So in a app settings.json file, so in a real world application, we have the app setting dot development and prod and UAT and uh, QA. These files are there. These settings are there. So I'll create. Oh, okay. Let it to be. So you can see this is for the development, and oh, as of now it is in locally is running, right. So it is we don't have the production like that. So here only thing will change, the here app setting dot json is there, right. So we can change it like in a app setting dot prod dot json. So that configuration will related to the production. So here in a app setting.json, so in a app setting.json I have mentioned the connection string. What is the connection string? See, connection string connection string configuration, get connection strings with the I configuration dot get connection string extension method. So okay, so this will configure our database. So this is right. So this is our database. So here server is equal to desktop. So this is my server name, simply server and database and trusted server certificate and trusted connection. So mm, these are the connection strings. So like here you can see I am trying to connect. See, this is my server name and uh, authentication I don't require. So if it some password and username and password is there, so that also you need to mention in the connection string. So here trusted server certificate is true, so we use here also. So like this, trusted connection true. Okay. uh, this is a connection string. So this connection string and going to the program.cs file, can able to see here we registered here. Mm, and we need to install the MS SQL Server NuGet package, NuGet packages. So NuGet packages are we show here in a dependencies. In a dependencies, here the packages. In a package, you are able to see, right. These are the packages required for the. So for entity framework core tools, so it will entity framework core. related things and entity framework core design and mm, entity framework core. Okay. Okay, in the API layer it is not there, so in a it is in a data layer. Like see, in a data layer packages. So here see, this is in Microsoft dot entity framework core dot SQL server. This is the package we need to install in our data access layer. In the data access layer, we need to install that package and configure it in the mm, program.cs file. Where is that? Okay. Okay, here you'll be able to find, right? So this is for the database. So here we are adding registering the service like an add db context and what is the we need to create one file that is in a app.db context. What app.db context will do, right? In an entity framework core, db context will interact with the database and we write the um, it will interact with the database using the C# classes and object and the link queries to convert the link queries into the database queries and execute on the database and return the results back as a .NET objects. So you can see here. So in a API data. So here I have the app.db context, right? So now for this, you can see here in a db context file. So to connect with the database, we require the db context file. So in the db context file, what it is there, right? So here we define the db set type is an employee. So this represent a table in our application, in our database. So what it will do, right? It is. So okay, this property is represented as a table in database. Okay, as a table in database. So each db set represents a table in a database. So this model is, right, employee, it is an entity. These are the entities. So what is entities? These are the represent the this will represent this employee id will represent the represents the columns columns in a table. So these are the columns are, right? Employee id and first name and last name and email address. So these are the columns, like columns in a table. Okay, so coming back here, so we have the models, entities, and db context file, right? Coming little below on protected override void on model creating, so it will entity is mapping the um, so if you want, you can use this model builder. Entity mapping is in this method only, in this on model creating, whenever you are so for example in a for example in a employee entity, it is the name like an employee id, but in a actual database it is like a different, it is just only id. So for that you need mapping is happened here. So like for example, okay, so employee id is in a primary key in a table, in our table, so primary key. So whenever this converting to the SQL queries, from the C sharp queries to SQL queries, the entity framework, what it will do, right, it will map it with the uh, we need to write this code for it has key, and has one navigation one to many, many to, so here has one job title and with many employees, so like this. So this code will work here, and as well as you can explicitly I mean for code separation you can use the mapping folder also. So in a real world application we use the mapping only. So separate folder, it is in a mapping folder. In a mapping folder, so I have taken employee map. So in employee map, so whatever we are writing here now, so whatever we are writing here, I am taking this and separate, taking a separate class. Here I have inherited with the identity type configuration employee with this configure method, and here you can see builder dot uh, to employee to table, right? So what table we are mapping? Employee table. So this is the actual name in a employee table. So here employee, like this. So here employee, and has key, it's a employee id is has key, means it is a primary key, has one, and with many. So job title navigation, so job title navigation in let's see here. Here you can see job title is a reference, uh, it is a foreign key for the job title. So we have job title also here. So this is in a job title table. In the job title table, see here in a job title table, .NET, Angular, Java, and these are the job titles are there. So these job titles are the primary key in our job title table, and foreign key in a job title table. So one employee has only one job title, right? So that one to many has one with many. Okay, so job title navigation, so navigation properties, here we use here job title. So in a job title entity, you can see in a job title entity I have created like an whatever you can take here, public string job titles. I have taken the job titles. So if you take only the job title as see here in this, right, job title, and table name also job title, and this will ambiguity, right? So we are getting an error. So class name and property name is same. See, job title member names cannot be same as their enclosing type. So here you can whatever you will take. I'm taking the job titles. So I'm using this job titles in an employee map table. Hmm, okay, in an employee mapping C. I have mapped with this, right, in a job title map. So in a job title map, you are able to see property. Property means this property. In a job title, here you can see property. This property is, see here I have mentioned, right. This is the property. So has column name. So has column name. Actual column name is the job title. In a which table? In a job title table, right? You can hear has key. So has key dot, you can mention like has column name, has name like actual name. No, you cannot do like this. Okay, you cannot do like this, but you can use another property. So here job description is there. So I'll see. So builder dot property e lambda function dot, you can see here, you'll able to see job description, and has, these are the methods, has column name and description, whatever can take. Okay, take like this, so it will map. Yeah, like this it is happened. So these are the uses of the mapping. So code separation is there, and we can, oh, easily we can do instead of doing in the db context file. So just lot of stuff is, we cannot keep in this only one file, right? So for the code separation we use the mapping folder. And repository, in a data we have the repositories. In the repositories we have the, this is in a repository, this the repository code. So here in repositories, only we have the database related things. So we don't have any business logic. So repository pattern is, repositories or interact with the database, and they will get post the data. They're not taking any validations, and there is not nothing is happened here. So just simply they'll connect with the database, and they'll, so simple. So here first I'll explain. So gate, for the gate what it is doing. So here dependency injection is happened here. So app context, so private read only app context, and context in the context, in the constructor I'm injecting this app context. So this context is equal to this. So one thing I need to tell here. So how the reference will work? Like, see. So first, these references are the right project references. So employee API dot data is referenced to the this one domain. So domain and API. So whatever available in a domain, you can able to access in the repositories. And see, this employee table is employee entities model is available in a domains table, domain layer. So how you utilized and used in this data layer? So see, this is coming from, uh, you can see our post and employee API dot domains dot entities. It is coming from the domains. So right. So here using this, see always don't keep the entities and data in only one folder, because why one layer only, why I'm telling, right? So you have the services also. So for that services you cannot able to uh, reference these only one. For the repositories only you're referencing, and for the services only you're referring the project, like this. So this is a reference. So repositories, and you reference that are post.employee.domains. So these domains. So in a application layer also, you are referencing to the data layer. So here here nothing is referenced. So you are taking this entire project into the data, and this is utilized in a data, and data and domain is utilized is referenced to the service layer, application layer. So these uh, are post and employee data, and the service layer is, these are utilized in here. Here utilized the domains and data and application layer. So these are the references. uh, in these references you'll get confused. So simply whenever you wanted to interact with the database, so we have in a one db context file and models, these entities. So this should not be in a same layer. It should be in a different layer. The db context file is in a different layer, and entities, these are in a different layer. So yes, like this. So yeah, right. mm, what was that we are discussing? Okay. mm. coming to uh, coming to the repositories, you can see you have the repository, employee repository. So in an employee repository we are injecting this appdb context, right? So appdb context, so I have named as an appdb context. Appdb context, this is appdb context is a scope. And see here, we are taking from the appdb context, we are employees, appdb context employees, and include job title navigation. So you have seen, right? Job title, we have a job title reference, right? So navigation property to list async. So what it will do, it will I'm putting the breakpoint here and coming here, uh, and executing. See, request is comes here. Initially I put like an t, it is null, and next, see, it is coming into the on model creating. So here it is mapping will done. Next it is going to the mapping, see, to table, and oh, and so yeah, where it is. Okay, repositories, right? So okay, We are here used the include, right? It is an eager loading. Yeah. We are loading the related entities at a single query only. See here, get executed. So it is coming here, right? And see, you are able to see here. See, here you can able to see, right? It is converted the SQL query. Here you can see. Select employee ID, create date, and create a user, and this on all. And from employee table as E and left join. Job title, left join on the job title, and as you can see, this is the job title. Job title is referenced from the uh, it is in a foreign key in a employee table. So as of now, it is showing an invalid column name description. Yes, okay. We map it right here. Uh, in a job, see, this is in a. I was given this wrong name actually. So here, see, description is in a job description in an actual table. So I just given the job this just a description only. So I am giving the job description. Now it will work fine. It will work. So see, I'm executing. Hmm, yeah, now it's executed. So here, see, in my database, I have the two two objects. Like, okay, see here, you can see converted that link your queries into the database queries and executed on the database and given the result back as an strongly typed objects. See, employee ID, first name and last name and job title. So why it is shown? It is only showing this employee ID only for, right? I have used the DTOs here. DTOs means of we don't require any particular columns and fields, so we are use this DTOs. So here I haven't used DTOs and all. I just fetch the entire data here. So from here, this is in a repository layer. So coming to the service layer, service layer, in a service layer you can able to see service, employee service. In an employee service, I have injected the repository here. I employee repository. From I employee repository, so raw data is coming in a repository. From repository, I'm taking the I'm applying the business logic here. You can see I have used the employee DTO return type. So I just wanted to these only these columns like employee ID and first name and last name and job title, right? So these only return. So here you can see from the employee repo. So this is an interface. So here in the employee repo, I'm just getting the get all method. I'm just using the method name only. So here what it will happen, I'm putting in a breakpoint and again I'm executing. See, first it is coming here. So in a employee repo, it will go to the employee repository. See, employee repository. Here in an employee repository, we have this. Initially, it was we have return type as an employee, right? In a return, what it will return? Let's see. Okay, okay. You can see here is written the raw data like created user, created date, and email address, employee ID, first name, and job title and navigation property. This is also in navigation property. Also, you're able to see like employees. See job titles like .NET and description is nothing. So here you can see and raw data, right? I got the employee ID, employee created date, and so all of the stuff is I got. So and going to the service layer, their business logic is applied here. So here in an employee variable I have taken, right? In employee you'll able to see all the raw data is coming here, right? So created date, created user, email address, and employee ID, and first name and job title and last name, modified date and modified user, like this. So all the raw data is coming. So in a business, in a service layer, I'm applying the business logic. So I don't want that raw data. I just wanted the some only this specific columns. I don't want to show all the details, all this. So here I'm applying the dtos in a c from the employee. So this is an raw data, right? Employee, from the employee I'm selecting uh, new dto and mapping the employee id. So whatever available in the dto, that's in the employee id, first name, last name, and job title, and mapping with the employee ID and first name and last name, and job title navigation and job title. So at the end, I'm doing the to list, right? And returning the employee DTO. See, okay, returning the employee DTO. In an employee DTO, what it is came? Just employee ID, first name, job title, and last name. And here also employee ID, first name, last name, job name, and last name. This is came. So now I am going to the controller. Uh, in a controller, see, in a controller, it is handling the request only. See, in a controller, I have injected the services into the employee controller. So here from the employee service, I am getting the I'm calling the get all method. So now see. See, now it is came here. I was not see first request comes into the controller. From the controller, you are calling to the employee services. So in a employee services, it has an get all method. From the employee services, you are going to the employee repository, right? You're going to the employee repository. From the employee repository, we are getting the raw data. See, we are getting the raw data, and we are going back to the uh, this layer. Which one? uh, Service layer. In a service layer, you're applied some validations like your you don't, and from the service layer it is coming back to the and coming back to the controller, it is return the results. See, employee id and first name, last name, and job title, and employee id, first name, last name, and job title. This is the get api. Similarly, you have the for add employee and update employee and delete employee. Similarly, it is there. Similarly, you can apply here. So here I have used the filters. Why I have used the filters? Hmm, I'll, ex- I'll explain. So I have used the exception filter here and log execution time filter. So it is logging. We have in a filters. We have the five types of filters. One is an authorization filter and a resource filter and action filters and exception filters and result filters. So one by one it will, what is a filters? Like a filter execute some custom logic before request and after the request, right? So I requested, right? So from here I'm sending the request. So I'm sending the execute request, it comes into the controller, and mm, before the request, so request comes and then it will check uh, log execution, right? So log execution I have written. See, I'm just logging here in the logging. So this one. So you to use this one, right? Executed, and see, I'm logging the information like I will log information like before and after. So this what is this? This action filter will work before and after the action method or uh, action will perform. So before and after execution. So I'm continuing. See, think, let me. So I'm continuing. So before it is going to be right. Let me show you. So you can see. So see. Okay. I'll run again. See, I'm executing in the logging, right? So I have requested that is comes into the get request, right? So it is comes to the controller and it is going to the application layer, right? So request going. See, you can see before and after execute. So first you can see here from here, right? So it is converted to the entity framework, to the entity framework code, to the SQL queries, and after that our filter was executed, right? See, the filter was executed, and before before executed the controller or before executed the action method. So it is executed, and after execution of the action method also it is called. See, like this. Two times it is called, right? Like this happen after and before the action methods. So here action method is this, right? Get all is an action method. And and exception filter, here you can handle the exceptions. So exception filter will handle the exceptions at see, is there any exceptions like here exception content and content status code. If the status code is 500, then if the status code is 400, if the status code is 404, and if the status code is 403, and the message status code and message will show, like it will return the like this. So I'm doing some mistake in the I'll okay, here only, right? We did that one. So the job descriptions is there. I'm just removing the job. So here an exception, right? So let's see. Okay, sorry, it is working. It will not work, and I'm stays that stays and in a map only, in a map, right? Mapping employee map. Okay, employee map only. I'm doing then. I'm just EMP. I'm entering mapping the EMP table. EMP table is not available in our database. So I'm executing. Yes, yes, Swagger is open, and I'm getting the. I'm trying to get. It is coming here, and it is going, and it will go service layer to repository database. See, invalid object EMP, right? So status code is in a 500. So it is an internal server error. Like this, we can handle the exceptions specific for the action methods. Like um, so, if you want global exceptions, so that global exceptions is handled by middlewares in a middleware. So for in any authorization and authentication issues and any authorization exceptions, that can be handled by using the middlewares. So we can, for that we can use the custom middlewares. I'm creating a custom middleware folder in a controller only. You can create in a folder, that folder name it as. Okay, so you need to stop this. Middlewares. So wait a second. Mm, yeah. Okay. So for the custom middlewares, so I have created a one folder, right, in a controller. So I'm adding one class. Take one class, name it as a custom middleware. You can use any. So I'm using any name. You can use custom middleware. So its class is created. So what it will do, right? We need to inherit it. Okay, public middleware, custom middleware, and mm, we use the public constructor custom middleware accepting the request delegate request delegate request private read only request delegate request request is equal to request. Yeah, and we have the method like invoke a sync public and task invoke sync sync. We can use invoke or invoke async method. So I'm using the invoke async method. So in a method, HTTP context. So here return wait, right. So context dot respond, yeah, request. Mhm. Okay. So it is one. Look at the context one. Okay, just I'm consoling context dot status quo. Context dot response dot status quo. I'm showing that the status code and request. Okay, so I'm saying this execute. Okay, so here we need to do like a void and request context. So it will call the next middleware. If you're using this, so it will call the next middleware in the pipeline. So this request is it's call the next middleware. Here, middleware order is also very important in a middleware's concept. So, what actually middleware? Middleware is a software component that assembled into an application pipeline to handle requests and responses. So, in a request pipeline, the middlewares will handle the request and responses. So, coming to what middleware here you can see dot authentication and authorization. So here also see the order is important. First, authentication is happening. For example, you if you are not authenticated, how you can access the how you authorize, right? Like that. So if the authentication is failed, so authorization middleware will not. If you use the authorization first and authentication next, it won't work, right? So like this way. So middleware order is also important. So authorization and authentication, and I'm after that I'm using the before that only we need to use middleware is used. Custom middleware is used after mm, here. I don't use middleware type of or custom middleware name, right? Custom middleware, custom middleware. Like this, we need to register in an application pipeline. And now re-execute this. See, and now authentication and authorization. Okay. We have done something right in exception. So here employee, I'll put it like an employee only. Okay, and we'll handle. Okay, so we have that, and now auth controller I'll add. Okay, in the employee controller I'll add the authorization. So I'll explain that authorization after that. Executing this authorize attribute will authenticate the user. Authorize the user. So without authentication I'm trying to authorize author this git API. Mm, so for not error status response is in 401. So in a console we'll be able to see, I think oh, no, we need to write in a correct format. Return middleware, middleware. Clear this one and comment to this filters. Mhm. Hmm. Okay. Equally, here you can say. Mm, it needs to be work. Let's see it is calling this middleware or not. Mm, okay, I will put the condition if context dot status response dot status code equal to 401, then it will execute it like. Okay. Oh. Leave it. So leave it this example. I'll explain. So I'll take another showing an error. Take another example to throw an error. So so mm, uh, exception here. Exception right. Okay. Text dot response dot plus code. Employee controller. So I'm removing these filters from here, and we'll see. Oh, I remove the filters and need to make some changes. So this is mapping. Employee mapping. I'll take EMP and oh sorry, need to authorization also. See, now the middleware is called here. So custom middleware is called here. Error will come. Error response is 500. See, status is 500. Message is an invalid object. MPL. In the console, you're able to see that. Okay. Okay. Sorry. I think. Okay. See here, custom editor is called. Yeah. So for this, we need to do one thing. In a custom middleware only, what is that custom middleware? Okay. Context dot response dot status code equal to 500. Yeah. Let's check you. Yeah, I'll see you later. And, uh, yeah, this is all about our application uh, architecture. So yeah, thank you for watching this live. Yeah, thank you. Bye.